Well, ladies and gents, can you guess what we got going on here again? Oh boy. Yep. Only 2 months later, and she's managed to have the pilot jets clog up again on the carburetors. The bike will not start, or will not start and continue to run. It'll try to on choke. And since somebody complained last time I didn't show the before and the after, we're going to do that. If I can get the key to turn. Yeah. Come on, baby. Wrong key. Typical. There we go. Lights on. Run position. Choke out. All the way. It'll do it every time. You put the choke in, it dies. Put the choke in and try to start it. Will not catch. Choke on. That's it. Turn that off. So, when it runs on choke, but won't run without the choke, or it runs on choke but won't keep running, your pilot jets are clogged, also known as idle jets. Okay, let's get down here. Now, right back here, see those two hunks of metal? See if I can get my finger in here. This one and this one. There's two carburetors on this. This is an older one, 99. The newer ones actually have shutoff solenoids in there. This is a drain, and those are stuck, but that's no big deal. But you have to get those covers off to get inside and get the pilot jet out and clean it. And of course, also check the emulsion tube and the other main jet while you're in there. Clean it all out, put it back together. 9.9 times out of 10, that solves the problem, just like I did 2 months ago. I've got a video up on it. You can see it if you want. But we're going to go through this again. Amazing. Told her not to use ethanol gas in this thing. We have a local convenience store that sells non-ethanol gas for boats. And I told her, you got to use that only. Otherwise, this happens. And didn't listen. Used the ethanol gas. Yeah, boy. I'm going to have a talk with that girl. No more pizza for you. Anyway, no, going to be nice about it. We'll get it fixed for her. She could do it, but hey, she's got a full-time job. I don't. I have time. So I'm going to get on this and see what we got. Stand by. Oh, and by the way, in case I forgot to mention, Japanese motorcycles, Yamaha, Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and of course all of your China-made scooters and things like that, all have metric fasteners, bolts, nuts, screws, Allen heads, hex head, whatever you want to call it. There's going to be videos out there if you've been looking. Oh, you can do this. You don't have to take it apart. You don't take the tank off. Yeah, you do. It's not hard. Usually on this bike, you get a bolt here. Takes the back seat off. There's a bolt or two under here holding this seat on. There's a couple of bolts that hold the back of the tank. There's one on this side, one on the other side in the same position. And the front of the tank has a couple of U's in it that go over a couple of rubber puck-like things under there that hold it on. And of course you got these three hex head, which I think are 5mm. Don't quote me on it, but you need metric hex drivers to get these off. You have to get those three off, pull this up, disconnect the speedometer. There's a couple of cable clips. Just be careful with it. Take your time. And once you get this loose and get that disconnected, you can take the tank off and out of your way, and it gives you a whole lot better access to these carbs. A lot easier. Okay, well, just a little note. I don't know if the stock bikes had this originally. You got this bracket that holds that backrest. There's 4 bolts that hold it on, 2 on either side. And that is a 4mm hex head. Same with these bolts up here. Haven't taken that one out because it's actually stripped out of there. Only these 2 are working. But I had to take that out because take that nut off right off of there. Get the back of the seat loose. And there's see 2 hooks under here. And those hooks go under these hooks. And with this thing in the way, you cannot get it. So I had to take that off so I can get the back seat up and oof, camera, just pull it back, came right off. Here's a bolt for the main seat. There's only 1 bolt. It's a 14 if I remember correctly. We actually replaced that because the old one was rusty. Onward. And bolt out. Seat comes off like this. You lift up the back, pull it back. See, there's another hook right there that goes into that slot right there. Now you can get the tank off. Okay, with the bolts out of the speedo housing, you can see there's not a lot of access here. To get access to this, come down this cable right here, this speedometer cable. You just feed it upwards and watch what happens. See that? It pops right over and gives you access to the cable and these 2 plugs. So we get that out of here next. Okay, not so bad. You just turn this wheel to the left until it comes loose, so it'll pop off the speedometer. You unclip these 2. Kind of common sense. You see this little tab here? You just squeeze that down because that little tab goes into this little slot right here on both of them. As you can see, one is 3 and one is 6 pin, so they're impossible to screw up when you put it back. Not a big deal. Okay, bolts are out of the tank. One over here. These are 12mm, by the way. One's out over here, which also happens to hold the choke in place. Now what you do, grab the back of the tank, pick up a little bit, and pull straight back. And we're going to see if it wants to cooperate with me. Hang on. Grab the front, grab the back, pull it up a little bit. Just wiggle it up and down a little until it comes loose. So he says. Push the cable down in here a little bit, get these plugs out of the way. Push the plugs down under. See, there's those round things right there. The brackets slip over. So, just gotta lift it out of here. It's just being a little stubborn. I'll be back. Okay, so tank doesn't want to come off. Pull it back. It seems to be hung on something. I'm not gonna fight with it because it's loose. Just go ahead and block it up. It pulls it up out of the way of these bowls, which is where you really need to get to anyway. So, no problem. Get these off next. I got replacement screws in here. Word about this, kind of important. Japanese bikes, again, metric. But when it comes to screws, they have something called Japanese Industrial Standard. Okay, it may look like a Phillips head screw, and these used to look like Phillips head screws, but they use a different shape of Phillips head screwdriver on these. If you try to use just a regular one, you will booger the head up something horrible and it'll be stuck and you can't get it out and you're messed up. That's what happened to us last time, 2 months ago. So we took the old ones out and we went down to the hardware store and had them measured up. Got the right length, got the right metric thread, right thread pitch. I think it was 1.5 fine thread, and got hex head which means we can now use a regular socket to get them out. No big deal. Makes it a lot easier to get back in here and take these bowls off and clean these jets if you have to, like I'm having to do today. So there you go. Otherwise, you need to go out and find a set of Japanese industrial standard screwdrivers if you're going to be working on your Japanese bike. Because, I mean, any of these screws, they're in here. Any regular flathead or Phillips head, anything you see like that that's going to be on here is going to be that. So, as always, get the right tool for the job. Next. So there we go. Got the bowl cover off. Bowl cover. No, not that kind of bowl. Anyway, stop that. Here we go. There's the inside of the carburetor. See these black things here? Those are your floats. Don't touch them. Do not touch them unless you want to die. See, what happens is when gas flows in here, gas makes the float rise and goes to a certain point, and it shuts off a little valve so more gas can flow. When you use the gas up, it drops and it allows more gas in. Just don't fiddle with these, because if you screw with them and you see that little tab right there moving at the top, if you bend that thing, you're going to mess up your float level, your carbs will flood or they'll starve for gas, and oh my gosh, it's a pain to get that reset. So don't touch them. Okay? So, see these two brass tubes here? These are your jets. This one in the back is your pilot jet or idle jet. This is your main jet. This has a screwdriver slot in the bottom of it. Maybe you can see that. I can't at the moment, but it's there. And this one either has, yeah, it does have a slot on it, but it's also got a nut on it molded into the brass, and that's 8mm. I do not suggest using a wrench on this. When you put these back in, you just want to snug them down. You don't want to torque them down, because you'll strip them out and you'll have even more problems. So let's use a regular flat screwdriver. Again, the Japanese industrial standard if you have it. Otherwise, use a regular that fits the slot as close and as tight as possible, and just take your time. It's a little harder to booger up the straight slot, but it's been done. But we got to get those out of there and have a look down the middle of them and see how much the holes are plugged, if at all. I suspect this front one's actually plugged and not the back one, but I'm going to do them both anyway since I'm here. Hang on. Yeah, I know. What the hell's he talking about? Sorry, I forgot. This is not the pilot jet. The pilot jet's up here. Once I started looking for the slot in it and realized there was no slot, I went, oh yeah. Dummy. But there you go. There's the pilot jet. I've already got the main jet off of here. That piece of brass that's left, you don't want to take out. That's called an emulsion tube. See the little holes in it? That's where the gas flows through and actually helps break it up into little vapor droplets. That's what a carburetor does. Get this pilot jet off next. Hang on. Okay, and there are your jets. Here's your pilot jet on the right. And as you can see, it's also got little holes in the end. Those can get plugged up. And it's supposed to be open straight through. And I don't see it. I don't see any light. I have to actually do this. Hang on. Put it between the fingers like this. And put it up to the sun. And see if we can see anything. There we go. Let me line it up and I'll show you. Here we go. See that little bit of light coming through? Yeah, it should be a lot brighter than that. The main jet, you can actually see through. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but I'm trying my best. It actually looks fairly open. I will clean it anyway. You also need to take like a plastic broom bristle. It might be small enough. And put it through there. A bristle off of a wire brush. Or the bread bag twist tie usually has a piece of thin steel wire in it. Just strip off the plastic on the outside. Or the paper, or whatever it's got. And you run it right down through that hole gently. Take your time with it. That'll help push out any impacted stuff or any hard stuff. Then when you get back over here, you want to take your carb cleaner with your hose or straw on the can, and you want to shoot it up into this emulsion tube, and you want to shoot up in the hole where the pilot jet goes in. And clean that out. Give this bowl a nice little spray down too, and get it cleaned up. You see the yellowish sort of stuff here? I mean, that's from stupid ethanol gas. You can see the inside of this. This was actually clean when I put it on last. You can see the buildup, sort of yellow-brown stuff. And these jets, when I cleaned them, were actually that brass color and that little collar right here in the middle, right there. They were actually a bright brass, but you see how brown they've gotten. And that's all because of that ethanol gas. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. So clean that up and get that back together, and we'll go after the other one. By the way, folks, see that? It's a little copper ring. That actually goes up over this and seals the main jet. That'll often be stuck up in there. I just sprayed that tube a little bit and it flopped right down on the tube. So know it's there. Be careful. Don't lose it. You'll need it. I found the best way to handle these. Get yourself a little cup or jar lid or something like this and spray these through and spray them off and let the fluid, the carb cleaner, just drip into this little cup. And once you spray them, set them in there and just let them soak for a while till the carb cleaner just dissipates. You can soak these in regular gasoline too, any kind of decent solvent that's not going to harm brass, but carb cleaner works pretty good. And when you spray these out, you're going to see spray coming out the other end. I'll see if I can show you that. Okay, big one first. See that? When you're spraying this stuff, watch your eyes. This stuff will burn. Okay. Put that over here. Try this one. Yeah. That was plugged up pretty good. Put that in there. Spray them down. Cover them up. Just sit there and soak for a couple of minutes. And go and spray them again. And if you've got it, that helps. Air compressor with a nozzle. After you spray them out, soak them, spray them out again, hit them with compressed air. It'll knock that crap right out of there. And then look at them again. If you see anything in the hole and the hole's not round or anything like that, that's when you take the little bristle off a steel brush with your twist tie. Like I said, you just gently poke the hole out. Just take your time with it. Be careful. The steel will scratch up the inside of that brass, and you can mess them up. But you just gotta be careful. It'll be okay. I'll come back to these. Yep. See, there's a twisty tie. Just pull the paper off. Nice little thin wire here. It's been soaking for about 5 minutes. Just fish that through there, and it should go all the way through. Just like that. You can also try your hand at these little side holes if you want, if they're plugged. Sometimes they are. There you go. Also, when you go to blow these off with the compressed air, keep a darn good grip on them, because they will go flying and you will be screwed. So what I do, grab me a little box like this and I hold it over the box, so if it flies out of my hand, it goes in the box. I don't lose it. There we go. There we go. Grab a jet. To blow it out in both directions, just to make sure. Feel air coming through. Let's have a look. Bring it out to the light. Oh yeah, you can see through that. Looks pretty clean. So drop that in the box so it doesn't go anywhere. We'll grab our second one, we'll do the same thing. This just has a straight through hole in it. And by the way, I like to spray these out while they're still wet. Did not put a wire through this, but we're going to see what happens. Oh yeah, I can see it already. There we go. I don't know how well you can see that. Looks like there might be a little bit of junk in it, so I'll run a wire through it anyway, just to make sure. Okay, so both of those are looking really good inside, so I'm going to get them back in the carburetor and get that carb buttoned up. And don't forget your little copper ring for the main jet. It goes on here, like that. And by the way, when you're putting these back in, you just want to put them in by hand. Just get them started. And actually, I like to run them all the way in by hand until they stop. This way they don't cross thread. Okay. And you just want to take the screwdriver and find that slot right there and just firm it up. Don't crank down on it. You'll wreck it. They just need to be firm, just slightly firm, not super firm. All right. I'm going to be moving on to the next one. It's pretty much the same as the other one. Won't show all the detail on it. I might show you any blockage I find or how dirty it might be. Stand by. Oh, and while you're in here, look at these mating surfaces all around the edge and make sure they're clean. You know, no big junk on it. Have a look at the gasket on the bowl cover. These could probably stand to be replaced, but so far they're holding tight and they're not leaking, so I'm not worrying about it. But, you know, hey, look at it while you're here. That's the point. Well, this one doesn't look too bad either. Certainly no worse than the other one. I guarantee you that pilot jet's plugged. Hang on. Hey, yep. Should be able to see some clear blue sky through that. I don't. Try the other side. Absolutely blocked. It's black hole. Here's the other one. You can see a little through that. Tiny bit, and that's supposed to be bigger than that. That's very weird because normally when they plug up, if it's been sitting for a while, this carb is actually a little bit lower. And that usually causes that one to plug up first. But for some reason it was that one. Now how did I know that it was that one going into this? Well, I actually had it running for a little while yesterday because it was warmer out here, which helped it keep going on the choke. Today it's a little cold outside. And after a couple minutes, I was putting my hand over the end of the tailpipe, and the top one was shooting out warm, hot air, hot to warm air, and the bottom one was actually shooting out barely warm air. And the bottom pipe actually goes to this front cylinder. So that's how I knew it wasn't getting any gas and wasn't burning anything. It was basically just running on this back cylinder. So that's how I knew that one was the problem. So, oh boy, it is clogged. Clogged. So we'll run a wire through that and get it cleaned up, see what happens. Okay, so we soaked these for about 10 minutes and ran the wire through them, especially the smaller one on the left, the pilot jet, because it was actually clogged tight with black stuff, so I had to soak it to loosen it up. So let's see what we got. Here's the main jet on the right. You can see the hole's a lot bigger now. If you roll it back, you can actually see how it looked before. Left one, let's see, yeah, right there. Nice and clean. Hope you can see that, but man, I got a nice light through it now. So get those back in and get it fired up. I'm going to see about getting this crap gas out of this tank. Okie doke, so we got everything back together down here. Bowls on tight, everything nice and clean. Got the top all buttoned up, got all the seats back on, got the tank back on. Everything back on except for the fuel line to the carburetor. Actually, fuel line to the fuel pump. Yeah, might be a good idea to actually, you know, see that the right way. Got a piece of fuel hose stuck on here instead of putting this back where it belongs. And we're going to drain this crappy butt ethanol out of here into this. Something here. There we go. And we're just going to open this up to reserve and let it flow. There we go. I'm going to take as much of this ethanol gas out of this thing as I can. It's about the only way I have to do it. And then we're going to go to the store and get us some non-ethanol gas, so stand by. And just for the fun of it, went ahead and drained the tank with about an ounce or two of the Techron in it, for the heck of it. Got about a gallon of ethanol-free gas in here. I'm going to turn on the fuel and see if it wants to leak or not. Straight down is on. That's off. Reserve is up. So we'll just let that sit there for a minute and let it fill up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so first things first, we're going to turn the key on, turn on the power. You're going to hear some clicking. That's going to be the electric fuel pump. I'm going to let that run until it stops clicking and let them fill up the fuel bowls, and I'll turn it off and check for leaks before I even try to start it. If I have the right key. Wow, I wish you would mark these. Come on. It's locked. There it is. I don't hear any clicking. I don't hear any clicking. That's not good. Power on. Let's see what's going on. Don't see anything. Seems dry. Pick it up. Oh man. Turn it off. What was that? God, what's with this key? There. Okay. Run position. Choke on. See what she's got. Now I hear the fuel pump. That ain't bad. I had to guess about that idle position. I had to take that idle adjuster off of there. It's interfering with the bracket, trying to put it back on. Well, that don't sound too bad. choke back on, we'll see what we get. That ain't bad. We'll let it warm up and see if the idle drops on it, and we'll do some adjusting. Still warming up, still a regular idle with the choke off. Before, you couldn't roll the hand grip at all. You couldn't roll the throttle because it would just shut right off. Bad. A little more warm up. It's about as warmed up as it's going to get. No backfire. Let's see what we can do with the idle speed. That's too low. I heard a little popping coming out the tailpipe. I think it was a little high. Here. Yeah, a little popping. Quarter. Half. Right about there. There you go, boys. I heard your complaint. There's the run before and after run test starting into the video. All I have to do now is let it run a few more minutes, and I'll shut it down, let it cool down all the way, and then check for leaks. I still don't see any gas coming out, so we're good. But you always want to let it cool down and then check for gas leaks. Thermal expansion and contraction can do that to you sometimes. It's worth checking. Oh, I see smoke. What is that? Oh, it's been sitting for 2 months. It's just burning off the nonsense. Yeah, that's just crud burning off. Nothing to worry about. As long as there's no fire, right? So there you go, boys and girls. No, the bike is not on fire. It's alright. In fact, let me come back and check on this and I'll tell you about it. No, sorry to disappoint you. The bike did not catch fire. Got just a little bit of smoke coming off it. I believe it's because it's been sitting for a while and it hasn't been run up to temp. You know, stuff congeals, dirt, fluff, small children, pets, you know. the usual stuff. But look, it looks like the smoke's pretty much stopped. I blew it out with the air gun and didn't catch a light from the extra oxygen, so it's not a problem. Might run a little bit again just to see what it does, but as far as I'm concerned, it's fine. Runs okay now. At least I can get it started and run it, which was the idea. Hope somebody appreciates this. Are you listening? I need cookies. So there you go, boys and girls. That's how we do it. Took me a little over 2 hours to do it. How long will it take you? Probably an hour. Why does it take me 2 hours? Because I'm an old man and I have a hard time getting up and down. A little tough. If I had a bike lift, it would have been about an hour. That's even with running for the gas to put in it. So there you go. It's not hard. You just got to take your time. You have to be careful, you know. That's all. Just pay attention to the details. It'll take care of you. It's no problem. So there you go. Hopefully this is the last time I do it. Because I swear, if she puts ethanol in this again and plugs it up, she's fixing it herself, and she's got to learn. And that's all there is to it. Simple. You listening? Yes, I'll help, because I'm nice. But, yeah, she was going to do it this time, but I decided to be nice and just go ahead and do it for her. Because we may have a good weekend here. It's coming on to Christmas, and maybe able to get out Sunday on the country roads where there's no traffic and a little safer. Besides the craziness of Christmas traffic around the malls and things. So I wanted it ready to go. I wanted to be able to just turn the keys, start her up, and get out of here. She needs the brain break. So that's it. Wrapping it up. Hope this answers some questions maybe I didn't answer on last video. Yes, I do have a video of this previous. Go ahead and check it. At least this one now has the before and after run. There we go, folks. Appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate everybody who subscribes. You all are just the best. If I don't post again before, everybody have a nice holiday. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. It's America. It's your choice. No problems. Have a good one. Be safe. See y'all later.